My name is Tamika Green. I am a Maryland realtor helping you buy and sell real estate.
Hi, I'm Anita Flatt-Cologne. I'm the CEO of Financial Compass, and I'm a financial coach. So this Brunch and Learn, oh my gosh, is our last one. This is bittersweet.
Yes.
So, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of good content and things coming your way. Mm-hmm. And this isn't going to be the end of us, but it is the last one of our Brunch and Learn series. Who knows? Maybe sometime down the future it might come back. But for right now, this is it. So this is our final Brunch and Learn session, and we're going to be talking about closing costs. Yes. The end of the process.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I'm telling you, after this, it's like happy.
Yeah.
Until you get your first bill.
But this is a good part.
Yeah. All in all, we're gonna start talking about closing costs and just jump right into it.
All right. So what are closing costs? I guess that's the first place to start.
That is the first.
Well, let me back up a little bit. When do you find out about your closing costs? So, initially, you will get a loan estimate document once you've been approved with your lender, and that will have an estimate of your closing costs. Right? What are those closing costs? Those closing costs, I guess, to not overwhelm with too much in the weeds type information, I'll just give a brief synopsis of what the categories. So you'll have your closing costs that are related to your loan, which will include like your origination fee, which may be like 1% of your loan or something like that.
Okay.
You'll have your application fee, things like that in regards to getting your loan. Okay. Then you have your title related fees, and that's going to include the title search, which is very, very important because that would uncover any types of liens or anything that may be. Okay. Yeah, I actually have a client that I'm working with now, and we are about to close. We were about to close this week, and when we went and the title company went to do a search on it, they found out that there was a state lien on it. And so we're in the process of trying to get that fixed.
See, I didn't really have to worry about that.
Yeah, with a new home. But when you're not finding any home, definitely important. You definitely want to make sure that you're researching the title company that you're looking to close with. So you have those fees that are related to your title, and then you have your recording type fees. They have to record the deed, those type of things with the county. All those things are related to that. And then you have your prepaid fees. So last episode, we talked about your escrow, your home insurance, your property taxes and stuff like that. Well, you have to prepay those things. Yeah. So that they can make sure they have enough. And we termed it like your checking account, your savings account for your lender. You want to make sure that they have enough in that account to be able to draw on. And so they make you prepay that for a certain amount of months, and that is included in your closing costs as well.
Yeah. Girl, my prepaids is so ridiculous that we ain't even gonna talk about that, but I feel salty about it. And I'm sure any probably new homeowner, if you never went through the process before, I think this was really the culture shock. I don't know.
You didn't realize it was gonna be that much?
No, because I knew down payment, but this closing cost, it's a sneak attack. That's how I felt.
Well, it won't be a sneak attack for anybody who's watching this because now they know the closing costs are a thing. So you have your down payment and you have your closing costs.
And prepays are really a thing. So make sure.
But they're necessary. And the good thing about it, and I know we touched on that last episode, is that at the end of the year, if you have more in your escrow than what's needed for your property tax and insurance, you can get that money back. So you pay it up front. You may get it back.
But then you might not get them back.
So that's what your closing costs mostly consists of. It consists of those fees, whereas your down payment is basically you paying down on part of your mortgage. That is the difference.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Down payment, down on mortgage.
Absolutely.
And closing is just all of this other stuff you just named. I don't have to remember this part because I'm the financial coach. This is the realtor. That's the one you go to for those questions.
Oh yeah, there's and usually a lot of times I know you did because as your realtor had a lot of questions about all the different fees there. And like I said, I just broke it down in categories because there's a lot of them. And typically your closing costs can equate to roughly about 5 to 7%, maybe get a lower depending on some of them that you can shop for, some of them you can't. But there are a lot of different fees that go into that. There's a long document.
And it's like you can't even, honestly, you don't even have time to really go through every single fee, to be honest. That's how many there are.
Not really.
I felt like it. You'll feel that way too when it's your money. It's like, you're scrutinizing, like, where can I save?
And you can.
So we're going to go over that too.
Absolutely. There are ways to save on some of that. Yeah. And some of that you can't. And again, like I said, your title fees and stuff, there's some things that you can search for, but you definitely want to make sure that you're picking a really good company, because if you're not, and they're not doing their due diligence, that may come back to bite you in the butt. Some of the fees are considered junk fees. I know, I've seen them like, why does it cost that much money to...
They're just trying to
prepare.
So get some money.
Yeah, but some of the fees are actually worth something. They're really actually doing something. And you definitely need those things.
So who's responsible for this?
For the closing costs?
Of course. I mean, I know mostly who it is because I wrote the check. But who, technically, for the viewers, like who's responsible for the closing?
The closing costs are the buyer's responsibility. Now, you can request seller assistance on closing costs. There are some programs, and again, that will vary by county. I know we touched on some of the different programs that they had for Maryland, Virginia, and DC when we talked about savings and down payments. Well, they also have those same programs, have some types of closing cost assistance that you would be able to apply for, and some of them you can stack. Go back and check that episode out. So
I randomly have a question.
Okay.
So I watch a lot of HGTV, and I'm sure probably you guys too, if you're probably thinking about getting a home. But when they're like flipping these houses, it seems like they're the ones who paying for closing fees. So I'm curious. Is it just me I had to pay because I got a new build, or is it
So I'll answer that question, but let me go right back, because I said the seller, I did say the buyer, you can get seller assistance, and you can also, depending on the lender, you can try to roll that into your mortgage. Now, if you do that, you will be paying interest on those closing costs, because of course you're paying interest on the whole mortgage amount. So you will be paying interest on it, which, depends, but you can do that too. That is an option with different lenders. So you said when they talk about closing costs, who's paying that?
No, like Flipper or Flop or something like that.
I love that show.
Yeah. They always, in their budget, they allocate for paying for the closing costs for the person buying the home. So is that a thing? Can the seller, I guess, of the house, like if not a new build, I'm talking about like a existing home, like the seller of the house, is it a thing for them to pay closing costs?
The seller can pay closing costs for you. Yeah,
because I always just see, when they do the this is for reno budget, this is for that budget, and I'm like, wait, they're paying closing costs, so is that a thing that I missed out on?
Now be wary of those shows, because those shows do not give you an accurate depiction of how.
I gotta ask for the people. The people want to know. I want to know.
They do not give you a real accurate depiction of how things actually go.
The seller of the home can.
Yes, they can. Yes, you can request when you're putting an offer for a home, and you're talking to your realtor, and you say, this is the house that I want, and this is what I want to offer, and you guys have coordinated that. You can definitely request seller's assistance. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I thought that too before. So I don't think I've ever shared this, but I actually have my own company too. Is JTG Home Investments, and I do real estate on the side, investing. Those shows do not give you the real scoop on how that goes at all. No, it's entertainment purposes only. And it's a very high level.
I'm sure when you're looking for a home, everybody will watch HGTV.
It's just like house hunters. They show you 3 houses, and it's like, oh yeah,
pick one.
Pick one.
No, that doesn't happen. I always know that's not realistic. I know how many homes I went to go see. So.
Yeah, and again and again.
Actually, though, you know what? The one I ended up picking was one of the top 3, like one of my first 3 that I looked at. So that's ironic, but. Yeah, so I still would have stopped there. I wanted to keep going. I mean, you remember it was down to like the day I was about to sign.
And you were
I was like, just show me one more.
One more. Yes, she did. Sure. Yes, she did. And that happens. That
I'm about to sign the next day, people.
Yeah. She'd already...
You get anxiety.
You do. You absolutely do. And that is understandable.
Yeah.
And so I definitely understood that. But no, it happens. It's a real thing. You do get anxiety. And then when you see these documents and it's telling you how much money you have to put out, you're like, what in the world?
You just want to make sure you're making the right decision.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's your first time. I think it is like really nerve-wracking.
It is, because it's a lot of money.
You feel like you're signing your life away. You just...
You do. And I forgot to mention that you can include like points in that. What are points? So your interest rate, once you have been pre-qualified and you're looking into that, to your mortgage and stuff like that, they will give you a tentative interest rate based on the market in which you're qualified for based on your credit score. Once you get closer to settling for your mortgage and stuff like that, you can lock in your rate. Around that time, you can decide whether or not, say the interest rate, and the interest rates are super low right now, but I'm just going to use 3%, right? Because it's an even number. And I don't like numbers off the top of my head. So say you have an interest rate of 3%, you can pay points to get that lower, to say maybe 2.75 or 2.85 or something like that. And you are charged a fee for that. Then those are your points. And so that is also built into your closing costs. Now, a lot of people will say like your appraisal fee and your inspection fee, they'll have it on your loan estimate document. Yeah. But usually you're going to pay that before you get there. So like as you're getting your appraisal, you're going to pay for that appraisal fee as you're getting your home inspection. And those are two different things. You want both your appraisal and your inspection. You're going to pay for that. They'll have it outlined on that closing document in your loan estimate, but
I think they just deducted it from.
Yeah, they'll deduct
they had like closing costs that was already paid, and then they had
and that's what it is. They're just showing you all those fees and stuff like that related to closing your loan, and that will be. And once they deduct that out, you'll see that on your closing disclosure, and you usually get your closing disclosure a couple of days before you settle. And so it'll outline some of the same things.
Going through NACA. Get it the day of. But this is not going to be a venting session, guys. I promise.
NACA is a good program. So with anything, there are pros and cons. Yeah. And if it's something that you really want, you may have to work for it. You have to make sure that you have a diligent realtor team on your side that is going to make sure that you get what you need. But it worked. You got it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Your interest rate was like 1%, something like that. Yeah, can't beat that. Can't do that with my loan. So, so those are some of the things that go along with your closing.
Yeah. So I guess when you're thinking about how much should I, because this is a lot of fees and things like that that we just, like Tamika kind of spoke about, and you might be thinking, okay, I thought about saving for my down payment, but now how much do I have to think about saving for my closing costs? So I would say on average, you should think about saving between 2% and 5%, because that's normally about the percentage points that you're going to get as far as a range. If you want to be on the safe side, then of course do the 5%. So, and how you would calculate that. So say if you have a $300, sorry, you're not getting a house for $300. $300,000 home loan, right? So if you want to think about figuratively what that would be between $6,000 and $15,000 in closing costs. So take that 2% and that 5% of whatever the home loan amount would be, and then that's how you can calculate. So as you can see, $15,000 is, I mean, I'm sure some people might be shocked by that, but to be honest, that is really in the ballpark of what I paid for my closing costs when I think about it. You know, like, it's not unrealistic to be at that 5%. So
it's not. But
so
keep in mind, don't let that scare you.
Yeah.
Because you still, like I said, there are closing cost assistance programs that you can use to be able to do that. You do have the option of wrapping that into your mortgage, and you can also, and I highly encourage you to do that.
I didn't know that.
Yes, you can. You can wrap it in your mortgage.
But then, how does that work then? Because if you wrap it into your mortgage, does that mean your principal goes up, or what? How?
So yeah. So
how that work?
So when you're wrapping it into your mortgage, absolutely, it goes. So say you're paying $340 for your house, right? And then you have closing costs for like $10,000. So ultimately, your finance is $350.
Okay, so go to like your principal.
Yeah, and so then you're paying. You're going to pay interest on that too. So you're still paying interest, of course. Yeah,
of course. If you're on your principal, it's going to be
okay. You absolutely do that. I would encourage people to first, when you're putting in your offer, like I said earlier, submit an offer and then request seller's assistance and have them assist you in their closing costs. That way, they're paying that closing costs. You don't have to try to wrap that in their mortgage. Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about coming up with that money out of your pocket. Yeah. And so you can always do that. And I definitely recommend people do that. So you look at those avenues as first, because you don't want to be like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Yeah. And Anita was very, very diligent. She knew that she wanted a house years in advance, and she had been saving a long time
4 years
to save that
for the price point that I wanted to be at.
Absolutely. So, but for those who haven't been saving as much, and they've been like, okay, I think I'm ready. I have this money saved. Gosh, it's 5% down payment. Look into seller's assistance when you're putting in an offer.
I will put out a disclaimer though. I don't want you also to think if you get a new build that you're not getting any assistance, because I will say that I had my builder did give me an amount of money.
Absolutely. Oh yes.
So I will say that I didn't put it towards my closing costs. I put it towards my down payment. But however it works for you, I don't want you to think that if you get a new build that maybe you don't have as much.
Oh yeah,
you can
absolutely
both ways.
Yeah,
I just wanted
new builds, all that. They definitely have like incentives and stuff like that they offer to help get you in the house.
I think they gave me about $15,000.
Yeah. They.
But like I said, they were nice to me, and I put it more so towards my down payment. But it is. You can get assistance with this, so I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't want it to make it discourage people. But it all in all, though, you do. I just like to don't put all my eggs in one basket. The safest as possible. So if you want to think of the max, for cushion, and you're always happy when you don't wipe out your bank account and you have more money still sitting there afterwards, and you're not. Like, I didn't use all the money I had, but I was able to, I still had something left.
You still want to be able to have that emergency fund that everyone recommends, that you have. So you definitely want to keep that. Absolutely. And another thing that I always recommend, and I don't know if you remember me saying that to you.
What?
Close at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Close at the end of the month.
But we're going to talk about that later. We don't want to give all the gems up front. Sorry. Okay. So we kind of already talked about some of this. I guess we can jump right into how to start saving.
Okay, yes.
So how to start saving on closing costs. I know we kind of, we dibbled and dabbled and hinted at some stuff. So we're just going to emphasize here. First, try to save on like third-party type expenses. Things like your inspections. Shop around for that.
Yes.
Because don't go with the automatic first person that your mortgage lender will
try to steer
you to, because it will be top tier expensive. Like, it will be on the higher range, of what you can shop around and find.
It can be. You always want to make sure that that's with anything. When you're spending a lot of money, you want to make sure you do your due diligence to shop around. So absolutely shop for that.
So shop around for any other third-party type, I know there's title insurance.
Yes, your title insurance, your appraisal. You can shop around for those. So absolutely, you can shop around for that.
So just don't take the first thing that they give you.
Absolutely, no. You can even try to see if you can kind of get them to discount some of those junk fees. So like the processing fee and things like that.
Yeah, so that's more so like asking the lender to waive.
Yes, that's asking the lender to waive those. Yes, absolutely. Not shopping around for those.
So you also could try to see. It never hurts to ask, but like application fees too.
Yes,
you could see if maybe they could waive those things. Because,
especially if you've been banking with them. So say you already have an account with them or several accounts, and you have a long-standing customer and stuff like that. You can try to, and you have excellent credit score. The higher your credit score is,
the more negotiation power you have.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's where that credit goes in. We talked about credit in our first episode.
Yep.
So that's one
when
of those
I'm
things.
telling you, when your credit's A1, you can really kind of you have
so much freedom
at your feet.
Yes, you have so much freedom to be able to search and shop around. Yeah. You sure do.
Okay, and of course another way to save is ask the seller to pay for some costs, or the builder, whoever in your case, see if they have any type of cost assistance with that.
Absolutely.
So that's a good way to save. You know, like I said, I mentioned that I got 15. You can definitely see if someone can pay for these closing costs, and then all you got to do is worry about the down payment.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and then
you probably still got to pay for your appraisal and stuff, though. Like, you ain't getting scotch.
No, because you'll be paying for those things. Yeah. You'll be paying for the inspection and appraisal as you're going along. As you need the appraisal done, you're going to be looking for an appraiser, and then you're going to be paying that fee right then and there. They're not going to want their money at closing. They want their money now. Yeah. So you definitely.
I don't know if I would trust the seller to pay for that, because they probably get their cousin to come appraise your house.
No. I mean, they have to be licensed and insured.
Hey, they can be licensed and they cousins. You don't know. I would want my own person for that. I don't want.
Yeah. So
because it can't be like if your house get appraised for less than what they trying to make you pay for it.
Well, here's the thing, though. If your appraisal comes back super low, you can dispute an appraisal. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a process to go about doing that, and that's something that your lender will be able to help you with. Mm-hmm. But if your appraisal comes back significantly lower than what it should be, you absolutely can dispute your appraisal. So you don't necessarily have to go with that all the time. But if your appraisal is lower than what you're paying for it or what they're asking for, then you already put in that offer and say you haven't disputed it, didn't know, you're not going to be able to get a mortgage on that thing. Exactly. So that's where that comes into play, and that's super, super important that it does appraise for a certain amount of value. And I would caution people. I definitely wouldn't want to pay exactly what it appraised for. So say the price is like
you always want to pay
you want to pay less.
A little lower.
You want to pay less because then you have that equity. So if the house is worth $350 and they have it on sale for $350, you don't want to buy it at $350. If you can help it, you want to see if you can get it a little lower than that. That way you already have that built-in equity. That's just my personal opinion. That's what I like to do. Sometimes, depending on the market, and it's a super aggressive market, and it's competition, you may not be able to do that. You may not have that leverage to be able to negotiate.
Right now,
as much.
I feel like it really is like a seller's market. I think a lot of people are buying houses right now, to be honest.
Interest rate is super low.
Yeah.
The interest rate now is a really good time for people who are able to, and I stress are able to. Mm-hmm.
Don't rush yourself.
To be able to afford a house.
You just heard her say it took me 4 years before I felt I was saving. I knew I wanted to get to this point, but I didn't rush it. Don't rush it. It's a big commitment, and it's not something that should be taken lightly.
But it's a great commitment.
And no, it is. It's a great one. I mean, but it's like any big commitment. Kids, marriage. A house is a big commitment, and you don't want to rush into it if you're not ready. If you know that it's a future goal that you have, if you know you're not, be honest with yourself and have that conversation. If you know you might not be ready, but you know it's in your future, just save. Like I did. Like for years, I was just saving.
Just save it.
Saving. Yeah. I know that this is coming my way, So just do, I always say, listen, get information while you can now, so that way you're more prepared when you do go into it and you are ready, but don't rush it just because you feel like, the interest rates are low now, so you might jump into a decision that you knew you might not have been ready for. So don't do that either.
Well, hopefully, you've already, if you're looking to get pre-approved and stuff like that, you have people that you're interacting with on a business transaction that are honest and have integrity and will look at your finances and what you have coming in and say, this is not for you right now. Mm-hmm. So you would hope that happens for a lot of people.
I would say I don't feel like it did for me.
Really?
No, I mean not you. Like I'm talking about you weren't even you weren't a realtor for me when I first started 4 years ago, that process. But when I got approved for an amount, not what I wanted. You get what I'm saying? So they approved me, and they, were going to put me in a loan or, in a house, but it wasn't the right time. I'll just say that. So just do be careful that sometimes some people are in it for the money. Let's be real.
That's true.
So they might not know all of your finances because, like I said, the lender's they're not getting as in depth of your finances. They're looking surface level, so they might not even be able to give you that much of an opinion. I'm just saying, do your research, get the right team, and then make a good decision. From there. Of course, I want everybody in a house, but don't feel obligated or pressured or rushed. Take your time. It's okay. Like,
houses will be there.
Yeah, houses will be there. Take your time. Enjoy the process.
It is a fun. By the time you enter this phase
of
closing,
fun part.
This is the fun part.
Not cutting that check, but it is fun.
This is the fun part. You may not have to cut a check. You may not. Hopefully
I hope
won't.
for you.
And this is the fun part. This is right before you get the keys and sign your life away on all those documents. And
we make it sound so dumb.
It's not. But
it kind of is though. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's a big, huge deal, but it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And so at this
one
stage,
last saving
you're good.
thing. One last saving thing.
Okay.
Like how she mentioned before, try to close at the end of your loan because your prepays will be.
Yes.
End of the month. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
your prepays will be lower. Your prepays are lower.
So
that's one more saving technique. I just wanted to emphasize it in foot stomp because that those prepaids are where you probably can cut the most. No, I'm serious. It really is probably where you can cut the most.
Yes. No, you can. You absolutely, because you have control of it.
Yeah.
The things that you can shop around for are the things that you can control, and it is absolutely those areas that you can save the most money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's it.
I think that's too. The last.
This is so sad. It's heartbreaking. I'm gonna see you guys on Sunday.
That's okay, but you can catch us in our Facebook group, My New Home.
Yep, and we're there every day.
Every day.
Not just Sunday. Not just at brunch.
We're there every day sharing information with our group. So head right on over there. That's My New Home.
Or our Instagrams.
Yes, our Instagrams.
We want to give out our Instagrams
We did
again.
that last time, but make sure.
I mean, because it's the last one, we gotta do a big.
All right. It is I am at Tamika Green _ Realtor.
Mm-hmm. And I'm at financial.compass on Instagram, and then on Facebook is a financial compass.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Okay, so let's cheers it off.
On Facebook. So cheers. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we enjoyed having you, and see you